Chicago! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and specifically my Chicagans. I don't know why it felt good to say Chicago. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's also production. That's right. We're doing it on Friday. It's August the 1st, 2025. What's going on? Yes, it is August the 1st. First of the month. Brand new month, brand new day. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, the Mi Familias Wagwan to the Syndicate, down south in the United States of the Americas, further down south, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia's, Denmark, over there in Trinidad, that's right, over there in Thailand, over there in France, over there in Finland, that's right, the Finnish people, over there in friggin' Zimbabwe, Senegal, all of it. Wherever you are, underwater, just floating above it, hovering above it, you little H2O perverts, you little wet perverts. Send all the love right back to everybody, whoever's tuning in. Thank you. If it's your first time, buckle up. If you've been with me from some time, then let's fucking do this thing. You know what it is. It's Friday, baby. Let's slip of this. Chicago! Are you ready? Let's get into it. We're getting into it. As you know, there are loved ones out there. You might be a loved one. You probably are a loved one. If you are, I'm talking about couples. Let's just get right into it, shall we? Let's just get right into it. Couples, I've been thinking about this. A lot of people, when you grow up, you get into relationships, mature relationships, which requires some of you to step away sometimes and go on traveling abroad or even locally, but be apart from one another. And what's the most important thing that you love about the lover? Their beautiful, sexy, beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful face, isn't it? That's right. I've been listening. I've been paying attention. The point is, you love their beautiful face, but they're apart, which is sometimes nice because you get to miss them and maybe even call them, and whatever. There's a space between you, and when they do return, there's ample amounts of love for the appreciation because you've been gone apart for some time, and you're reunited, which is nice to be reunited. But guess what? Sometimes these trips take days. Takes maybe a couple of days, maybe a whole weekend. Maybe 3 to 4, sometimes even longer than that. People who are out there doing gigs, doing work, doing assignments, doing operations. You know what I'm talking about. Running ops. You're on a contract. You got the contract. Oh, this message is going to self-destruct in 5-4 kaplooey right there. You're on a contract, son. You've been sent out. You've been deployed. And guess what? You missed your beautiful lover's face. I said to myself, what can we do to bring people a little bit closer together at times when they need it most? Sure, we've got the phones, you can do the FaceTime, but what if you wanted to actually physically touch and feel your lover's face? Well, that has not been really available up until now. I say we do it together. I'm not going to take full credit for this, but I want us to do it together. We are going to get together. I want you to make a mold of your lover's face. That's right, a replica of your lover's face. Ideally you get some paper mache and paper mache their face, and then you can probably pour some hot rubber into that and get like a rubber replica. You can do it at home. You can melt some rubber. You got a tire or two, burn it. You're like, what about the fumes? Inhale it. Touch the little people in the other realms and whatnot, the green little people. Touch them, say hello, hear what they've got to say, enjoy the dancing and the fiddles, but then come back. And now you pour that burnt rubber into the cast that you made from your lover's face. Set it aside a few seconds, minutes, hours. Dip it in cold water. Take a cold dip yourself and take it in with you. all right? And then pop it out. And now you got yourself a replica of your lover's friend. You're like, well, that's beautiful. This is fantastic. What am I gonna do with this? I think you know the answer. I think you already know the answer to that. Next time you're away, miles, thousands of miles away, minutes, hours, days away from your lover, take that rubber replica of their face that you made. Give them a call if you like. Have a little sex talk on the old phone. And then take your penis or your puss and rub it on their face, which is your favorite place to rub it on. But at a distance, it's extremely hard to do. And sometimes people do things that they may end up regretting. So this, once again, is one of those products that will help serve the public, bring relationships closer together. Pack it in with your underwear. Always remember, a few pairs of underwear, socks, pants, maybe a rain jacket, maybe an umbrella, and your face. Take the replica face with you. And you're like, is it cool what if they see me in the airport? What if they see me in the airport as I'm checking in my luggage and they see that replica of my lover's face made of rubber in my suitcase? Is that going to be embarrassing? Do I have to explain myself? Not if everybody's doing it, sure. Immediately, yes. If amongst the first people, if you are amongst those people, you probably might have to open up your suitcase and kind of low-key explain it. But don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, because other people will do this and you're not going to be alone. Soon it's going to be a very normal trend. I'm sure it's going to start here in North America, but we are hoping to go global with this shit. By 2027, I want every couple to have a replica mold of their lover's face. Think of the millions and millions of pussies and penises that get to rub on your favorite person's face, still given the fact that there's a lot of distance between you guys. So you're welcome. Again, I'm not going to take full credit for this. We're a family at this point. We are tied at the teeth, as they say. So whoever wants to start this initiative, you can start at your own home and spread the word. Tell a family friend, tell a coworker, tell a stranger, and together we're going to make relationships stronger moving forward. You're welcome, everybody, but don't thank yourselves. Thank yourselves. We are doing it together. Really, it would help with a microphone with sound waves. I love whipped cream. You guys love whipped cream. Everybody loves whipped cream, but oftentimes people don't want to know how they get it. Where's my whipped cream come from? How does it go from cow to a can? Well, I'm here to tell you, because on my spare time, I do like to make the whipped cream. Whipped cream, that's right. On my spare time, and I know there are a lot of you who consume whipped cream and you're wondering, is it just you that's doing this? For the most part, which is why I'm putting out the word, putting up the signs. If you'd like to go and make whipped cream out there, please. Plenty of cows to go around and plenty of you guys and gals out there who are dying to put on a pair of, you know what I'm talking about, chaps, leather chaps, and maybe a leather vest. And guess what? Maybe a couple of leather bracelets, and maybe low-key leather boots, and maybe even a leather cowboy hat. Who knows? If you'd like to throw it in there, throw it in. Or maybe like a leather motorcycle hat as well, like, you know, old school ones. Old school, like 1950s, you know. Yeah, circa 1950s. There we go. And get dressed up and get yourself a leather whip. Find yourself a cow with saggy tits. Grab the whip, stand far away from the cow, and you're not going to be whipping the cow. You're not going to be whipping the actual cow itself. You're going to be just grazing. The key is to graze the tip of the teat of the cow. So to induce not just lactation, but actual cream, all right? And that's how you get your whipped cream, sure. Does it get hot in the leather suit? Absolutely. Are there gonna be mosquitoes around? Yes, I'm sorry. We're out in nature, motherfucker. If you're thinking to yourself, are there gonna be any mosquitoes? Are there gonna be any flies? I don't do mosquitoes. I'm a city guy. I don't do mosquitoes or flies. Then I guess whipped cream, Benes, is not for you, sir. madam, put down the outfit, give it to somebody who is willing to go out in nature, all right? And just graze as you whip the said cow's teats just by the tip, just the tip. It shouldn't even hurt these cows. You understand what I'm telling you? You're simply just getting it just enough arousal to induce lactation, but thick lactation. That's how, and as soon as that cream does come out, you're wondering to yourself, is it ready then? Could I just, take a small bowl and put this whipped cream in the bowl and then have my way with it? It does require a little bit more whipping. Once the cream is out of the cow's teats on the ground looking at you, you are to proceed with further whipping, whipping of the said cream that's spilled. Typically, this will take anywhere between 45 minutes to 45 days, depending on the cow, depending on the cream. You're like, my wrist is probably gonna fall off after an hour or two, and that is how we separate the wheat from the chaff. And I don't know which is better, to be honest with you. But the point, I'm assuming the wheat, right? But the point is, keep whipping away. Switch your arms. If you can, incorporate other people into this. Again, it takes just a little bit of leather, a little bit of, the ability to go out there and stand the heat. Thank you. And whip this cream. Once you're like, how do I put it? Do I just put it straight in the can? No, you are to further continue whipping. Now the cream has solidified a little bit. Continue whipping you're like, should I pick it up at any point using my hands? No. Good whipped cream is only produced through whipping and whipping only, and that's what we do from the get-go. We use only our whips, not our hands, not our feet. This isn't the circus, all right? This isn't a carnival. This isn't a little trick you're gonna see done by the bearded lady. No, all right? The little gypsies aren't gonna be running around using their hands, using sleight of hands, using card tricks to produce this sort of cream. So you're gonna continue to whip this cream from ground, put it in the bowl, using the whip in a bowl, all right? It might have a little bit of dirt on it. That's what you need to distance yourself from the bowl. Whip it from afar, extract all the dirt, all the potential, little knickknacks that may have ended up in the bowl of cream. Get a can, continue to whip it in the can, put a lid on it, and you got yourself whipped cream. And that's how you produce it. Of course, you could just simply hand the can to somebody or use it yourself at that point, but I would suggest, so you don't break habit, continue just anytime you're handling the can of whipped cream, always use a whip. And if you want to hand it to somebody, whip it good. All right, ladies and gents, and that is how you get whipped cream. So there you have it. A lot of people didn't want to share that secret. A lot of people are going to be upset, angry as to why I've spilt the beans, but it's the way the rice rolled, as they say. That's right. That's the way the rice rolled, and that's the way that the dice cooks. All right. Oh, ladies and gents, boys and girls, what's going on? It's Friday. I've been thinking about this. I know a lot of you have been thinking about this. Of course, we have heard these terms: singularity, super intelligence. A lot of big companies, large companies are working on it separately, individually, competing, but I guess in a sense cooperating together in a sense as well, because it takes, if one company is doing it and other companies are doing it, and there's a little bit of competition, but together we're building the same things. We together, yes, all of us. I'm talking about Meta, I'm talking about Mark Zuckerberg, I'm talking about Sam Altman, I'm talking about other countries too probably doing it. And yeah, soon enough we're going to be, I think that's the track we're going in. I think that's the trend we're heading in, whether it's 5 years from now, that's some of the numbers that I've been hearing, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, we are going to be chippy chipped, probably, most likely. Some sort of interface where it's just, you don't need a phone, son, it's in your rectum, it's in your colon. Stay connected, friends. Turn your press a nipple, turn yourself on and off whenever necessary. The point is, just thought about this, I'm thinking, a lot of us do get distracted doing this, that, and the other. I'm browsing this, I'm on that, I'm flipping a tablet, I'm stomping on a screen, whatever you're doing, interacting with technology during the times, because this question, I had to listen into the future and come up with this shit. And people may have this issue, and maybe not now, but definitely down in the future. So help you and myself get ahead of this, nip it in the bud, if we will. A question came in from the future. People asked, what are we to do when we're constantly interfacing with data, especially when we're going down and giving head to our lovers, when we're eating that puss and or sucking that cock? Is it cool? The question is it cool to browse the internet because it's just in my head whilst eating out my lover or giving head? This is a future problem, or it's not even a problem. It's just the way we're, I guess, this one learning together, I guess. It's not a problem, it's your perspective. Is it cool to, browse while eating out puss? Really depends on you and your partner if it comes down to it. Because if it's, let's say you got the TV in the background sometimes, and then let's say you're eating out your lover's puss. Let's say you're doing that. So technically you're already sort of kind of, if that's the case for you, or you might put music in the background. You might put music in the background to eat your lover's puss and or give him head. And you got music, or you got the screen of the TV or whatever. So the noise is already in the background. Now the question is, does it matter if the noise is all the visuals and the sound effects is moving into your head? No noise outside, all inside noise. I'll say this, if it's not a distraction to the task at hand, if you could simultaneously concentrate on giving that gasm to your lady, you know what I'm talking about? That maxed out climax, son, that's what it is. Let's get maxed out climbing together. And that's what, if it's not distracting you, then by all means play anything. I'm assuming, either YouTube, Netflix, and the other variations of these platforms will either exist by itself or in some other shape or so you can browse whatever videos you like. You could listen to any music you like while eating out your lover's puss, which again, but if you saw it all of a sudden, if you are that type that, if you're eating her out and all of a sudden you're like, oh, sale on fly fishing equipment, then ask yourself this, is this helping you eat out the puss better or is it distracting? Because she did say go a little bit slower, but you did not hear that. You're still you're just jackhammering that clit with your tongue. And it's sensitive, son, you know that, you know better. Sometimes she likes it rough, sometimes she tells you to slow down. That clit is it's never constant, right? It's one of the only mysteries in life that is never constant, but which we love. Faster, harder, stronger, you got to pay attention, listen. Okay, so that's why if it's becoming a distraction, I say turn it off, stop listening to it, lower the volume if you like, turn it off completely, do the task, get her to max out, get her that gasm, get him to bust on your titties, and that's when you can turn it back on. I know it's going to be probably more so than it is even now, because it's going to be eventually, I believe, embedded in our bodies, again, maybe if not in 5, 10, 20 years, probably down the line. So again, this is a future potential problem which we are now dealing with ahead of time, so it doesn't become a problem. Okay, but who knows how that'll actually look like. It might actually be that you could do a whole bunch of things and it wouldn't even matter, because once we do merge with the super intelligence, artificial intelligence, the robot, who knows what we'll turn into. It's interesting times. It is interesting. You enjoy the lesson here, I suppose, is enjoy the intimate moments you have with your humans now, because down the line there'll be probably more of some sort of a half bot that you're kind of getting to turn on and off, and it'll be different. Let's just say that. So you're welcome, and also thank you for that question from the future, whoever asked that. Thank you. Very thoughtful, very intriguing, extremely titillating. What's going on? What else is going on? Somebody else came in with another wonderful, beautiful question, and thank you for all your input. Somebody out there must have asked at one point or another. My mother-in-law, my sweet mother-in-law, is a queefer, and she happens to toot and fart at the same time as well. She's a queefer and a farter. What do I do? What a touching, endearing question. Thank you for whoever came up with that one. So glad that you shared this with us. And again, if you exist out there, you happen to have a sweet, sweet mother-in-law who queefs, know this, you're not alone. There are billions of elderly ladies who are, let's just break it down. Why is this happens? One, they're sweet, they're beautiful, but they are they're getting up there. They're so down the equipment down there has become, you got to understand this, son, it takes, you know how it is, hardware essentially. It's a matter of, it's become loose. It's so not as tight as it used to be. It's given birth to 2, 3, maybe even 4, 5, doesn't matter. It's given birth to, if you're here, it's as a result of a, now an elderly woman, or an older woman rather, I don't know how old you are watching this, or you know what I'm talking about. Just as they get old is what I'm talking about, and it gets loose down there. So you got a queefing, sweet, endearing mother-in-law, and she happens to, let's break it down, as Thanksgiving, lunch din, din lunch din. It's one big meal. Just eat throughout the entire day until you all vomit and prolapse, and that's when you know it's Thanksgiving. The point is, you're passing the turkey, you're passing the gravy, there's the, there's the pie, there's the drinks being, there's the whatever, the salad, the stuffing, all of it. Num num, yum yum, for the yum tum tum. That's right, you got it all inside you. Next thing you know, grandma, like everybody else, just leans back on her chair a little bit, and boom, there it is, she queefs. What do you do? What do you do? This is not the first time this has happened. It started 5 years ago, and it's kind of getting worse at this point. But nonetheless, it's not a major deal. It's not a deal breaker for the family. The best thing you could do is you shouldn't ignore it. You're like, should I ignore this? Should I just... Ignoring it is going to make it awkward for everybody. Should your mother-in-law queef at the dinner table, if you could, tell your wife to also queef, so that like there's like 2 of them queefing, because one queef in a crowd is low-key lonely. But if somebody else joins in, then they're like, hey, look at all the females in this circle queefing together. It's camaraderie for the entire family unit. So get her, to be on board. If your wife is not down to play this, she's probably a little bit more selfish, to be honest with you, but that's a judgment call that you're going to have to make. And that's aside the point. You're going to have to be the man here and roll up your sleeves. And now queefing on your behalf is going to be a little bit more difficult, given the fact that you don't have the majora, if you know what I'm talking about. Hello. I'm talking about, you're going to have to go down there and fart probably a little bit. So go ahead and induce a little bit of farting. It's going to be easy, given the fact that you've eaten so much food at this point. That's one step that you could just rip one out, just a loud one. Okay, just to sort of be like, hey, sweet, endearing mother-in-law, we're in this shit together. I see your queef, I raise you a fart. All right, old lady, check this out, and then let her rip right in her face. Just maybe hit her kneecap, have it ricochet on her chin. You know what I'm talking about, love. That's why you're like, what if I'm not gassy? Then it's about making her comfortable. All right, she's done a lot for the family, as ladies do. So what I just do raspberries on her, man. Just get down there and just, if she's blowing air out, you blow air back in. Just get in there. You know what I'm talking about. Blow some air back in the puss, and everybody will get a good laugh out of it. And she'll look you in the eye and say, you know what? I knew you were the one the day you walked in to our family. And that's beautiful. That's wonderful. So there you go. Blow air in her puss if she blows it out. And ask anybody else if they feel like getting air blown in their puss. Any other female family members, just because you've done one already, why not go around and make everybody feel special? So there you have it. There is, I guess, a few ways in which you could deal with this situation, and it shouldn't be an embarrassing matter at all for anybody. And because this will only get worse. It's, again, you noticed 5 years ago, she's not getting any younger. Those lips are not getting any tighter, I'll tell you that. If it's anything, you could take her to the shop, but we all know that's just cosmetic work. It's all what they say. The adage says it's what's inside that counts, and inside is dry and it echoes if you talk into it loudly. That's why they wear the hearing aids. Okay, because grandpa and grandma are constantly yelling in each other's crotch. That's neither here or there. The point is, blow air into it. So there you have it. Nobody should be embarrassed. Completely normal, completely natural, and you're welcome. A request has been made globally. Speaking, the people have spoken. People spoke, we listened. They're like, with all this gene editing technology that we got, can we do something fun with it? And I thought to myself, yes, indeed we could. So we put it forward to the manufacturing companies who produce these gene editing tools. And we as a populace have come forward with this one request. Forget everything that you're doing in, form of enhancing life, longevity, making, oh, let's get cartilage between the bones that are deteriorating due to age or whatever, or let's get rid of the bad cells and add the good. That's all good. That's all fun and done. Fine. You've done a great job. Good job. You made cartilage. You're making teeth in the lab. We don't need to get fillings anymore. You're regrowing human teeth. That's great. Fantastic. But can we have a little bit of fun with this tech is what the people are asking. What we want is simple. It is not anything drastic. We simply want, instead of having multiple short pubic hairs, we would like collectively just grow one really long strand of pubic hair. That's what the people want. So for moving forward from now on, okay? New people coming into the group, if you will. We're adding new people to the pool, right? And the already people that are existing, can we edit their genes so that we can grow only one strand of long pubic hair instead of having multiple ones? Because it seems like if you've got a whole bunch of short ones, they're kind of low-key useless. They're useless. We don't do anything about it. We either leave it on or we shave it off. And that's what it doesn't do anything because there's just too many of them. And they're not long enough for you to be like, let's show this, let's show this luscious bush off to anybody, and we hide them. So we don't do anything with them. It sucks. It sucks that we hide them. Let's grow one really long one, and the multiple things that you could do, and make it sturdy to kind of low-key enhance the gene so that it doesn't rip off easily. Grow one really long one, and then you could have that, and like you could floss with it. Think of all the plastic we'll not be putting out into the landfills through just flossing. You probably floss once or twice a day. You think about the environment, you'll be helping. So floss with your long pubic hair. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. Let's say you got kids, or you got kids in the family. All right, maybe you're an aunt or an uncle. Next time, these kids want to be like, oh, we wish we're outside, we're at a picnic. Hey, we wish we brought over a rope so we could jump and skip. Oh no, we forgot the rope. Nobody can jump and skip. Oh no, what a horrible day for these kids. Traumatized, crying, not eating the food and appreciating the moments, yelling. The sun-filled sky is getting covered by clouds. Thunderstorms are breaking out. Oh, it's raining, it's pouring down. What a terrible day. And this could have all been avoided had you had that one long pubic hair. You could have just whipped it out of your pants and say, hey kids, there you go. Hold one end and jump rope with this really long pubic hair. And you could have been their favorite aunt or uncle. So if we could get that going, it would be, I'm not saying it's the biggest thing, but again, it's the small things that make a huge difference. Next time you're out there on some sort of, a vessel that floats on water, a tiny boat, a little kayak, a raft, doesn't matter. You're like, oh, we should do some fishing. And then you got these friends of yours who are dum-dums, idiots who did not get the gene editing, and they're just whipping out their rods and, trying to reel it in with a rod. You don't need to do all that shit. Simply grab your really long pubic hair, put a little bit of bait on the tip of it, dip it in the water, catch fish using your extremely long, durable pubic hair. There you have it, all right? Next time you are caught up in a situation where you're like, I need to climb in the back of the seat of this, car, because somebody didn't make the payments that they promised to the mob because they decided to partake in some sort of illegal gambling, but they came up short, and it's your job requirement. I'm not judging. It's your job requirement, all right? I'm not judging. People are out there doing it. You're gonna have to pull a little line underneath their chin and choke them out until they give you the money. Typically, you'll have to go to like a special store where you get a special wire to do this thing. But now you can just simply whip out your extremely long, durable pubic hair and choke them out with your long pubic hair. There you go. These are just a few examples of how this could be helping society. I'm sure you can think of other ones as well. And again, this is what we're putting forward. This is from the people. Yeah, again, you can get rid of disease and low-key, stop the breaking down of like cells and all that shit. Whatever. We're not interested. One long pubic hair instead of a whole bunch of short ones. That's all we're asking for. It's not much. okay? One little thing and we can move forward. We can move past this. I believe we can make it happen. So please, everybody pool in your resources, your time, energy. Drop whatever you're doing right now and we will achieve this goal together. Feels good, ladies and gentlemen, it feels good. It's Friday. That's right. Well, what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? We are talking about a Mortal Cumbag. That's right, ladies and gents. Mortal Cumbag is what I've thought about for the past few hours at least. Did I get good sleep? Do I ever get good sleep? That's the question. The point is, it's exciting to be alive right now. And given everything that's going on right now in and around the world, I believe I've heard rumors, murmurs, potential pardons that may be allotted to certain individuals out there. I'm talking about Diddy, maybe, low-key, maybe getting a pardon, maybe. There's rumors, murmurs, I don't know. And then there's Ghislaine Maxwell. Also murmurs, rumors about potentially getting, maybe not. It's been thrown out, let's just say that. I don't know if anybody's officially said it, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, but people, it's, who knows what tomorrow will bring? Who knows? But I say in the meantime, take the elements of Mortal Kombat, utilize it to have these two fight it out for their pardon. If that's if it's gonna be Pardon City, if it's gonna be, because you don't know. I'm just saying, it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to get the truth. It'd be nice to get. But if that's not gonna be on the table, low key. If it's not gonna be on the table, just be honest. Just be honest. If it's we as a people, we'd like the honest truth, to come out. Hopefully, and we'll see whatever it is. We'll deal with it. Everybody can take it. Everybody can handle it. But if that doesn't happen, if low-key there's like surprises and shit, because you never know with these things. You never know. Sometimes, most of the times, justice works. Most of the time, law and order, it's really good. It works most of the time, for the most part, right? Sometimes, like low-key, some people, it doesn't, sometimes the stock market crashes. Sometimes, subprime loans get lent out by banks, and sometimes banks get bailed out. You're like, whoa, what happened over there? Sometimes OJ happens. Sometimes sometimes Caitlyn Jenner happens. Sometimes people get pardoned. People forget sometimes that shit happens, and it's okay. It's okay. It's because it doesn't matter. The point is that if it's sometimes it's big pharma that gets sometimes big pharma. It might be injuring, hurting people, but then they get leniency, or they get you turn the other cheek, you turn the other eye, you remove the other eye, turn the other cheek, replace your eyes and your cheeks. Sometimes shit happens. Most of the time, it works really great, for the most part. Sometimes things happen that catch you off guard. You're like, man, we didn't think that's gonna happen. But if anybody's gonna get pardoned, I say we let them like gladiator style, right? The competition name could be Mortal Comeback. Mortal Comeback. That's the, and then you can have Diddy versus Ghislaine Maxwell. Kind of like get into it. You know what I'm talking? Finisher. And then Diddy throws lube. That's his like secret weapon. Just lube. It makes it really wet and oily. Maxwell is like slippering. She's falling out. She's tripping. He goes to finish her. She tosses a baby. She tosses another baby because that's what she does. And you could have and it's called Mortal Comeback. And we could whoever wins gets to have a partner. Because if it's going to be random, and you never know. If it's going to be random, and you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, So people might talk. She might talk, but she might not say, she might not say anything useful. And we might just be like, who knows? Or he might get a pardon, and you'd be like, not even 2-3 years? You never know. You never know. It's going to be random. And to that I say, low-key, again, justice, law and order, it works most of the time, like the way it works. It's not perfect or anything. But look, if this happens, what if both of them get pardoned? What if, What if both of them get pardoned? At that point, if they do get pardoned, and in a crazy, odd, strange, upside down world, if they do both of them get pardoned, then because of said previous cases, I say we just forget about like crime and punishment altogether and just make it a random. We just sacrifice like 2-3 people every year to get caught for some crime. So for some crime, because it doesn't matter at that point, right? It does matter, right? You don't want to send that man, but like let's just make crime random. So many people shouldn't be in jail is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people shouldn't be in jail. It shouldn't be that people with, but if it's going to be people in jail, we reduce the people in jail by just being way more lenient. Give the people the same level of leniency as to give other people. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Chicago. Are you ready? The point is, make it random. Just do like a lottery draw, and anybody's name could get drawn. And you're like, 25 years in prison. Why? We just sacrifice somebody to the law and order gods, to the justice, to the gavel of justice. Willie's been called that. Oh God. But Mortal Comeback. You know what I'm talking about? Just make him. Diddy will what's Diddy's outfit gonna be? He'll be like in a towel. That'd be one of his moves. He'll have like a towel wrapped around the setting. It's a hotel, and that's that relates to both of them. I'm pretty sure both of them have been in many hotels at different points, given the businesses that they were involved in. Probably, most likely. Diddy's got the towel around his Bad Boy Records. Whips. That's one of his moves. Ghislaine, I don't know what she does. Wears high heels. Who whips out a guy that does weird paintings of you and then just presents it to you. You're in a dress. Holy shit! She's got a painting of you in a dress. How did you do that? Tosses a baby. That's her move. It's baby because you're like, oh, it's a baby. A baby to the head will hurt, dude. A baby to the head will hurt. And just low key, the sun is setting. They've got it's on an island. It's a hotel resort on an island. That could be the setting. Mortal Comeback. We can make it up, and then whoever wins gets their freedom. Gladiator style. Just putting it out there. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, who knows? What if they both get pardoned? Pardon me? Pardon me, sir. Good sir, pardon me. Excuse me. Coming through. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Seem to have stepped on your toes. Excuse me, my ass is in your face. Pardon me, your cleavage is on my face. Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through. Excuse me. Pardon me. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that what we've been talking about, radioactive wasps have been found in South Carolina. Now, they found the nests, but I'm not sure if they found the actual wasps itself. It got my attention because it said radioactive wasp nests found and then destroyed in a South Carolina nuclear waste facility. I don't know what happened to these wasps because, read the article. It didn't mention any. Where are the wasps? Where are the radioactive wasps, man? Because what you're telling me is that you found radioactive wasp nests. To the radioactive wasps. Dude, low key. You got rid of the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You got rid of the, just tell me what you're telling me. I understand you can't say certain things explicitly, but low key, you got rid of the radioactive wasp nests, but we've got the radioactive wasps. No, we don't have the right. We don't have them. I know you got rid of the radioactive, because shit, son, do we low key have radioactive wasps right now in our artillery? Can we have radioactive wasps? Are we working with radioactive? Who can we deploy this on? I know, let's not do it on people, but low-key, if we have radioactive wasps. I mean, if there's some bad people out there that need to be, things need to get deployed on somebody's ass out there. I'm not saying any specific, but if they need to go out there and be, what, do we have low-key radioactive wasps? What does that even mean? Because wasps will sting you and fuck you hard, little tiny fuckers, but now they're radioactive. Are they glowing in the dark? Are they oozing pus, radioactive pus? You've been stung by a radioactive wasp. Shit. What does it do? Do they never die? Are they anti-cancer? They're not down with cancer, right? These wasps can they can do crack and give you a sting that will just turn your whole body gangrene green, baby. I don't know what's gonna happen to them. We got rid of these nests, and I'm glad we did. What would happen to the wasps themselves? Okay. We don't have them? Of course we don't. Why would we have radioactive wasps? It's not like there are now radioactive, coyotes running around Chernobyl. It's not like we don't have those guys who don't die either. Zombie wasps, zombie/radioactive wasps, release them on our enemies. Holy shit, an army of what other animals can we turn radioactive? And should we be turning ourselves radioactive is really my next question, because if low-key we become, that's long-term exposure. What I mean, low dosage, long-term exposure, not heavy duty, just the bomb went off near you and now you're skin is peeling, that's gross. None of but like a little bit of low-key exposure to radioactive material long term. What are the effects of that shit? What are these wasps capable of? Extremely powerful wasps, bench pressing 250? Are they squatting 500? Extremely durable cocks, which they're using to pull trucks with? 18-wheelers, you say? That is crazy strength for these wasps that are thankfully removed from society without them ever getting a chance of becoming menaces, right? No radioactive wasps. Gotcha. Can I get one? Okay, can I have one? I know they don't exist, right? Of course. DM me. We got rid of them for sure, dude. That's nice. That is good. Excellent. The point is, think of what other animals you'd like to turn radioactive. And I'm telling you right now, we will not do it. We can't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna get it. But low-key, your dog, radioactive dog, right? Cool? Much cooler now, isn't it? To have a radioactive dog. Think about it. If you want it, we can make it happen. Just requires 10K cash on marked bills. DM me. What? Chicago. There's a tsunami. Tsunami. Somebody sneezed while they were coming up with tsunami. So that's how that was a beautiful Japanese man just having an allergic reaction to some, wasabi. Tsunami. What is that over there? Tsunami. Right there, dude. That's how they got the name tsunami. But one went off, and I got the threat warning alerts. They're like, tsunami, it's coming, and then it happened in Russia, I believe. Or they're in the Pacific Rim. You know what I'm talking rimming that. You know what I'm talking about, the rim, son. You like rimming? Pacific rimming. You like to rim, don't you? Let it up. Pacific rimming. Nonetheless, tsunami went off, and luckily it didn't do as much damage because initially a few days ago I saw, I'm like, oh shit, here we go again, because we've seen what tsunamis do. Waves of upward of 30 feet high, 50 feet high. This one was a big earthquake, though. I'm glad I'm pretty sure some people might have, but for what it was, not as many people. Luckily, thank God. The numbers. I didn't hear too much about the numbers. I just heard 8.8 magnitude, but yeah, luckily I believe it wasn't extensive. But who knows what these after effects might cause? You never know, the ripple effect, the after effects. But low key. What do we? How do we not get? Even if we do get an alert, dude, what are we gonna? Can we not drill a hole? How does it happen? How do tsunamis? What is it exactly? Can we not drill a hole in the bottom of the ocean? And low-key, if the tide's gonna just be wilding out, can we not take the plug out, have the water drained from one side of the earth to the other side? Just drill a giant gaping hole connecting all. How does it? You gotta drain that water because I'm worried. Low-key, I'm worried about places that worried about Japan. Japan. Worried about Japan. I'm worried. Sometimes low-key, I'm like, what about California? I love California. Fuck, dude, it's just anywhere on the coast. It makes me a little bit tiny little islands. Makes me a little bit somehow can we somehow get the water to drilling holes in the bottom of the seafloor? Does that help? Can we somehow make him, if it's it's getting wavy out there, so it's getting salty, it's getting wavy, it's getting semen eject, if you feel me. But if we can drill a hole, I'm just saying, low-key, just anytime the water gets a little bit, that's whatever you want to call it, whether it's, Mother Nature, that's squirting, that's what it does, man. Sometimes you see it in the volcanoes, man. You see it just building up, and that's just when it's volcanoes, when they're not erupting, it's a little bit of smoke. You see a little bit of earthquake action, not too much. That's just the earth kind of getting ready. It's getting ready it's rubbing the old bean, if you will. And then when it does erupt, whether it's through volcanoes or earthquakes or tsunamis, it's when it's actually ejacking. That's the female, or rather, because Mother Nature, I think it's ejacking on us, which is nice, sort of. And that's how it feels, to be honest. It's like a massive ejac. It's like, we're happy that happens, that we're wet, but it'd be nice if it was controlled. It'd be nice if we could have enough time to lay down a blanket. That's ideal. I'm just saying a large blanket. How about that then? If we can't drill a massive hole in the Earth's ocean floors, large blanket so to deal with this massive squirting sitch. Oh, just the beautiful Japanese people get the alert. Whip out the massive blankie, and that's, you see it happen in unison. They're organized, they can do it just Japanese style, son. Just origami, unfold a large blanket, catch the water right there, release it back into the ocean. Putting ideas out there. Of course, I'm not saying any of these are feasible, but is there any genuine way we could protect the coastal regions of the, don't want any beautiful nations to go down? That would terrifies me. That's terrifying. That's one of the Japanese, man. I don't know how you do it. Right there, just looking at nature and saying, bring it, but like in Japanese, bring it. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe there was a underground gambling that took place somewhere in the US, and I'm sure it happens all around the world, underground gambling. I mean, this one was in the news, it caught my attention. It was a former, it was an NBA star. I'm not quite sure if I do apologize, forget the name. All right, I maybe I'll leave it in the hashtags, maybe I won't, because it's not even about this individual per se. They got caught. They were running a underground illegal gambling poker game, and they got caught. And I just, how does that work? Genuine question. Why can't you put a table in your home, or a few tables, and have it because people do play poker in their homes. What's I don't know too much about it. I try to read into it. I don't know what the legality issues are. I think you're not supposed to take a rake or a cut. Is that the right term? Oh, that's right. You know your shit. Take a rake. Is that what it is? Take a cut. The house isn't supposed to get paid unless it's like licensed, because then it would. I don't know what the deal is. Apparently, you can't make a. But why not though? Why can't if you host a few tables at your place, why can't you take a rake? Is that what it's called? Is that what you want me to say? Is that what you wanted to hear? Good then. Rake, cut. Just, you can't profit, but why not? Why can't you put up a set of tables, give a couple of, beautiful beverages, maybe a couple of massages on the old shoulders of players, maybe a little bit of, stress relief. Who knows? A little bit of shiatsu, if you will. A little bit of Swedish massage, a little bit of, not the happiest of endings, but because you lost a lot of money, but at least, feel a little bit relaxed when you walk out. Why not? Why can't we do that? Why can't we why is it illegal? Why should I just like, again, going back to just make it so that everything sort of kind of applies to everybody more or less equally. Because it takes a lot to get a casino going, but if you could just put up a couple of tables, invite a few people over. Okay, take away the shiatsu happy ending massage, or just put regular masseuses in there. Okay, fine. We're not that kind of establishment yet. We're trying to push for it. Okay, we're trying to push for it. Because why not? Why not? Your body, your choice. Your body, your ejac, your choice. Your semen, your bodily fluids, your choice. Chicago. The point is, are you ready? Yeah, this gentleman the point, I don't know what the point is. The point is that this gentleman, because he was providing a service, which was to, rent a place and bring entertainment over and serve food and play a little bit of poker and make a little bit of cash. A little bit of cash. Who doesn't want to make a little bit of cash? Make a little cash. Who don't want to make a little bit of... So if we could get that licensing red tape removed, I know this one's probably, not going to say specifically it's run by organized crime, but I'm pretty sure there's some organized crime elements in there. What's with the licensing of everything? Can we just... Why do we? Is it because people will come in, end up owing money, then not be able to pay it, and then is it to eliminate more organized crime, or is it because it's not like I'm just confused about this one, to be honest with you. What would be the outcome? What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, fine. Two people show up, play a game, they lose, they come strapped, they come heavy. Shots fired, fucking, fight breaks out, people die. Okay, that's bad. Obviously, that's bad. So what do we just okay, hold on, chill. Okay, that's bad. Obviously, bad, fine, I get it. But low key, what if we just instill a, kind of like a, just low-key, don't bring gats. Don't bring gats. How about that? If you lose, you lose. Like, be much easier to enforce through, I guess, it's large entities that run it as a business as opposed to just like running it out of your home. But what happened to just people being people? Because low-key, I kind of want to run one. Not like it's because it's fun. It'd be nice to walk over people and just see what they're doing. Playing old cards, are we, gentlemen? A little bit of get a suit of some sorts and just walk around with a suit and check out people's hands and make commentary on card games that you're not familiar with but are willing to pretend. Ace of diamonds. Jack of hearts. A queen. Is that a king? I see. That's a full flush. That's a full flushed house, my friend. That is hold them up if you got them. Texas, put it down, because that's how we do it in Texas. Hold them, hold up. Texas, hold up. It's you know what that is. That's the old pony trick around the wazoo, as they say. Typical card game lingo. Deal it. Hit me. So hashtag free this beautiful NBA player who was just trying to have a little bit of fun. And I don't believe any gats went flying off this time. If the culture learns to just gamble at their homes for lots of money without gats, which I'm sure we could get going. I think that's the problem, right? Safety is, I believe, always used as a concern, right? What if we get security? I don't know. The whole thing I want to be involved in one low-key. Not officially, but like I do want to just show up at a card game. Fine. If you're not going to let me run one, I will just want to know when there's some going on in and around the city, different locations around the world, and just drop in a game. Can a fella just drop in on a game and just, hand some people some chips, maybe collect a few chips? I like the aesthetics. What do you want me to say? I like the smoke-filled rooms. All right, I like the sound of cocktails going off, whatever that means. God. What else is going on in and around this beautiful planet? I believe that this Labubus is it's a Labubu. I heard it. I just like the name. I do like the name. I don't know what. I just heard it a few days ago. Apparently, it's becoming a thing. Maybe it was already a thing. It's becoming more of it. I don't know. Labubu. Who got your Labubu? I got a Labubu. Lick my Labubu right there. Lick her Labubu. That's what it's just. What is that? So she got a Labubu like. You don't even know that Labubu type. Tight little Labubu. I didn't even know what it was, but apparently it's a toy of some sort. It's a collectible. It's become a collectible toy. Every once in a while in history, you have these items that pop up. I've never collected any toys, but I'm definitely going to comment on collectible toys. How do I feel about them? Wasn't that big of a toy kid as a kid growing up. Like I had regular amounts of toys, but I was never just like be outside doing stuff. Never, soccer balls was if you consider that a toy, even as a young man, even as a toddler, I liked it. It was one of my favorite toys. But Legos, this, that, and the other, action figures, yes, sure, little cars, this, that, and the, but that's for kids though. That's just toys. But they were fun. Not gonna lie. Did I play with a couple of toys? Absolutely. Did a few summer afternoons just go on by just taking a couple of action figures and just smashing it into, of course, good times out there in the sun, just smashing action figures and making noises like that and flying and using your imagination and maybe finding a feather on the ground and then covering it with leaves, hoping the sun will hit it and then have the feather grow, because that's what you wished as a kid. It was fun to have moments like that. But nonetheless, the point is that those toys are for kids, silly rabbit. How do I feel about collectible toys? Never really collected anything myself. There was an extremely brief moment where it did have a little collection of scented erasers. That's right. I had a box of scented with a very limited time. It smelled really good. They smell fruity. All these sorts of different, cartoons, little fruits, little knickknacks, and they all smelt nice, and they were in a box, and I don't know what happened to them. The point is, that's as far as my collection goes. How do I feel about, are adults collecting these things? Is this what adults are doing now? They're collecting things? I know people collect things, coins, stamps, playing cards, baseball cards, Pokemon cards. How do I feel about it? If it's, if you're making, because some people might do it for like, I'll buy this thing and I'll make bank in like 10 years. You just wait and see. The dolls could be, so if you're making bank, I could get that aspect of it. I don't know how, you got to do, it's not my thing. I don't know anything about it, but it's not gonna stop me from commenting on it. I'm gonna take a hard left here and just say, if you do it, there's something, you're trying to fill a hole. That's okay. We all got holes, orifices filled with them. Call us Swiss cheese. That's humanity in a word. If you could just sum it up, different holes that are trying to be filled. Fill it up with Labubus. I don't know what they are. They're toys. You do gotta ask you, if you're not selling them and making bank and you're just collecting them in a corner, it's questionable. It's not the worst thing. I'm glad that you're collecting toys and not maybe, it could have been worse. It could have been, he's collecting fucking penises. He is, she is collecting penises. Why is it always gotta be a he? Let's just switch it up. Let's just switch it up for the sake of today's episode. She's collecting labias and penises. You'll hear that, you'll freak out, and you wish she was collecting Labubus. So you can't even sell penises and or labias. I'm sure you could, but it's on a black market, okay, which again makes it much more difficult. You much rather have somebody collecting dolls. So is it the worst thing? No. Does it make me wanna, does it make me like, if we're getting on a raft and I hear, oh, by the way, so-and-so's got a Labubu collection, am I going to be a little bit tense during a raft ride? A little bit, yeah, low-key a little bit. Not going to be like, not my first choice of who I want to have on the raft. Who's collecting Labubus? This guy. Take a paddle. We're going to be paddling on this boat. Great. Labubu collector. Fantastic. No judgment, but like low-key, a little bit of to each their own. But again, way better than collecting body parts. So I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I feel, if you're for it, I support it. If you're not for it, I completely understand that as well. If you're, if you have a child, it would make sense to maybe collect it for them, but then and also be hilarious if you collect it for your child and tell them to like not play with it because they're going to be worth money. So they'll grow up having the toys in their vicinity and not having access to them, which would probably build some sort of resentment. Loki would probably have them maybe one day ruin all the toys by cutting off their heads or burning them, melting them with a lighter. Who knows what they'll do. Every decision that you make forms a little bit of your child and yourself. So moving forward, should you collect Labubus? If it makes you happy, if you're looking for an investment to bank on later on, I'm not an investment banker, but I say the logical thing is to take all your savings and invest in Labubu today. I've heard of potential replicas that are being sold for more than they should be going for. And I say, once again, not knowing much about finances and or investments, I know when I see a winner, when I feel it, I see it, this one's the one to go. Take out a second mortgage on your house. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't hurt if you were to remove your wife's wedding ring when she's sleeping, pawn it, get the cash, buy Labubu, okay? She wakes up, where's my wedding ring? She's older now. She's older now, losing her mind. I don't know where you put it. Maybe you were washing dishes. We've got a dishwasher. I don't do that. Maybe you lost it in the shower. I don't take showers. She'll say that. And doesn't matter, at the end of the day, she was sleeping. There's no way she's gonna pin it back on you. The point is, invest heavily in Labubu toys. Ladies and gentlemen, these items are as good as gold. It's, if you've got gold, I highly recommend sell it, buy Labubus. There you go. Real or fake, both. Invest in both. Go hard. Go hard. Shane Tamura is a name that popped up, and not for a good reason during the past week. He did something horrible, which we're not, boo, Shane Tamura. He's dead, I believe now, so it doesn't, he won't be able to hear it. But the point is, a crazy gunman went out there and shot at people, killed 4 people, and then killed himself. Crazy. But the, part of the headline or the story that struck out was trying to blame it on the CTE that he collected allegedly playing high school football, dude, and then try to pin it on the NFL. So he said Check out my brain, study my brain, as I believe they found a note. He had a request. Shoots people, then has a request. Study my brain, he says in the note, for CTE potential. CTE. Contracted from the NFL, which he knows he was never a part of the NFL. If all of the, to this I say, instances like this just makes me want to, it sucks. It's tragic that the people died for no good reason. It's tragic that anybody dies for any reason, really. Most, unless you're a horrible, horrible human being, in which case, moral Cumbag. Baby, Lou, baby, baby. The point is that, yes, it sucks, but guns don't kill people. People kill people. You've heard the saying, Kurt people. People named Kurt. There's a saying, Kurt people. People who are named Kurt, there are people, and then there are people. Kurt people. Something about, you've heard this, so you know what I'm talking about. Kurt people, dude. People who are named Kurt also happen to run into other people who are Kurt. They'll get into it, introducing themselves as Kurt people. Kurt people. You introduced, you got a couple of friends named Kurt people. Kurt people. Kurt people. You've heard it. You know what I'm talking about. The point is, he was off. He was way off. We wish he was on, but he wasn't. Try to blame CT in the NFL. It's not gonna fly. Recommendations in order to deal with this. Yeah, situations like this makes me feel bad about guns, because guns are good. I like guns. Guns keep people safe. Guns keep countries safe, all right? It's moments like this that people might want to jump out and say, collect the guns. I say, yeah, skirt, son. This is one of the great examples of this could be seen in and around the world, where you're like, oh, why don't the people just rise up and, take action, do something if a government is, being cray-cray. And the easy answer to that is you can't fight bullets with your fist or your face. Kurt people. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, if this could be, how could we avoid situations like this if at any point you or anybody that gets the idea of shooting people. There was another fellow who lost his mind and set a councilman on fire. So shit like this happens, but if you do, let's just, not about guns, it's not about setting people on fire, it's about hurting people. I believe, let's just put it this way. If you get these ideas, you or anybody there are things that you could do to eliminate these ideas at the moment, and then at least deal with them. Give yourself a little bit of time. I suggest masturbating immediately. If you get a bad thought, masturbate. Have sex. Ideally, you'd have sex, but if you can't get that, masturbate. Because it's extremely difficult to do really anything after you've either had sex or you're not going to want to go out there, and so make love with somebody or to yourself. These are go get help. There's doctors that because it's crazy to kill people and then say, check out my brain for CT or whatever else you're trying to use as reasons to most people don't do that. 99.9% of people are like, you're good. At least you keep it together for the meantime. So shout out to everybody who is keeping it together in the meantime. So, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Take care of yourselves. Jerk off. Have sex. Do something. Get exercise. Get punched in the dick. Punch somebody in the dick. Punch somebody in the dick. That's way better than, you know what I mean. Don't punch anybody in the dick, but low-key, way better than. So these are, because at the end of the day, even if we check out his brain, he's dead. He's not going to find out if we checked out his brain or not, dude. And low-key, I don't even think we should check out his brain. Bad brain. There. Checked out. Good. Done. Oh, this dude sucks. But the point is, guns are good. Just to have sex. That's the point. Yeah. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe this one actually caught my attention here in our city. But I believe it might be low-key affecting other cities in and around the world as well, depending on how we'll see. These are some, I don't know what this could be pinned on, if it could be pinned on one specific thing. I'm talking about speed cameras on the city streets. All around, if you are in Toronto, if you are in the GT, if you're in the Greater Toronto area, even all around our beautiful city, it popped up like random just fungi, just out of nowhere over the past year or two, just a year or ish. I don't even know when it's a year or two ish. It feels like, I don't know. Time is weird sometimes, but it wasn't a thing. It wasn't 5 years ago. It wasn't a thing. 10 years ago, it wasn't a thing. Now there's speed cameras everywhere, and I thought I'm like the only one who's noticing these things. And a little while I do hear people chit-chatting about it. And then the other day I just saw a little interview that was conducted, or rather a little, little piece by Rebel News here in Toronto. And it caught one camera. It caught one camera. I think giving out 68,000 tickets. Just one camera, which equates to roughly $7 million worth of tickets. It's crazy. That is insane. How do we, and apparently somebody or some buddies, I don't know who, somebody went and vandalized it, and then they keep vandalizing it. So this one particular camera is in a bad spot. They suck. That's my personal opinion on it. They suck. I'm not for it. So somebody vandalized the cameras, or the camera rather, and then the police department went and installed a camera above this camera to watch. So you got two cameras now. The one camera is watching your speed, and then you got another camera watching the camera that's watching your speed. Because God forbid you should, do 50 and a 40 for a couple of seconds, and all of a sudden 7,068,000 tickets. That's crazy from one camera. And this is used as, they say for your safety, but it's, how do I feel about it? I don't like it. I don't like this trend of, this is, I guess it's in a trend that we're moving towards. Again, this is maybe 5 years, 10 years, if not 10, 20, 50 years down the line. I don't know what it will be, but it's coinciding with self-driving cars, which make me feel like, oh, no, thank you. No, thanks. I don't want a robot driving my car. That's just, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is just the human being in 2025 saying this. Maybe this is maybe they'll look at us or look at me or people the way I think, or people like me who think the same way and look at us the way we look at people who rode around horses and carts, not too long ago. Maybe but autonomous vehicles, I don't feel good about it either. It's one of those things, again, speed cameras, not, making it extremely weird for you to drive with, again, autonomous driving cars that can be turned on and off at any given time, that you could be locked in them, you could be locked out of them. You have zero control. You have no control. All, under the guise of for your safety, for the betterment of humanity and your safety. And we will never know. And once they do come in, it's hard to go back. It is so. This should be a little. If your cities don't have these speed cameras, I'm letting you know. If you can get ahead of it somehow, nip it in the bud so that they don't come to you. It's not a good thing, in my opinion. That's what I think. So when I see some of them, I see a lot of them vandalized too. It's not just, this one broke out, I guess, because again, 68,000 tickets, $7 million. At one point you had cops standing outside with a little, speedometer, and they caught you every once in a while. And those became like a little, there were life lessons. When you were a young driver, maybe you got a couple of tickets. Those are life lessons. Those are beautiful interactions, stories. You could actually go and tell your grandchildren one day, one time when I was young, got pulled over when the officer was nice and we fucked. Gave me a ticket, but we fucked. And you could say that. You could say, but you can't say it now because it's just cold. You can dry hump a camera, but nothing will come of it. Maybe one of you will come of it, but it's only half the coming that could have came if it were to be an officer and a citizen. But the point is, I don't know, I feel, when I see a vandalized, I see them spray paint it and then they come and clean it up. They keep getting spray painted, they get cleaned up. When I see it, I'm not saying break the law or go damage these things, but when I do see it happen, when I've seen it happen, my heart gets happy. Inside of me gets happy. I don't know who's done it. I don't know who's doing it. I'm not telling people to ever go do this. I'm not saying people should. But when it does happen, it brings joy to my heart. I see it because it's, driving in a city that's congested with traffic, you just don't need another thing that's definitely not helping. It's definitely not helping. It's just a cash grab, in my opinion. It is just eliminating cops' jobs, which was nice because you saw them. And then there were spots in every city. You had spots that people knew. and they low-key told each other. So then the cops had to low-key relocate. And it was a fun game between peoples and the cops, man. It was a mutual sort of respect. You're like, oh, you son of a bitch, I know you were hiding here. I know you were hiding here. Should have known better. But that was a thing, and it doesn't happen anymore as much because they're getting replaced by these speed cameras, which don't feel a goddamn thing. They're just emotionless, and they don't understand the nuisance of driving. They don't know that sometimes it takes a second to accelerate or decelerate. It's one of those things that feels like, yeah, more and more giving away your individual rights and privileges for the sake of safety. And I don't know how much safer I feel. But if these autonomous cars down the line become a thing, we got to get some more out of it. Seatbelts have got to go. I want 0 crashes, absolutely none. If we're giving up drivers, I want 0 crashes. All right, no, like you're not allowed to get crashes at all. So 0 crashes. Remove the seatbelts so that people can engage in sexual activities inside the cars. So that cars literally become bedrooms on wheels for reals, though. You know what I'm talking about? Seatbelts have got to go. You can't be like seatbelted up and don't get to drive and don't have sex, bro. You know what I mean? Something's got to give. A man or woman can only take so much. Okay? So autonomous vehicles, figure out the whole seatbelt shit. Speed cameras. If I hear that somebody, you know, I'm not saying do it, but if I hear a story, let's say, of a speed camera ending up in a trunk somewhere of somebody's car, being driven to a desert spot somewhere, or, you know, somewhere in the prairies perhaps, and, you know, gets the mask removed from his or her head, and then gets a couple of shots popped in the chest and in the face, and then maybe a hole is dug, and then let's say this camera were to get buried 6 feet under and filled up with dirt, and then urinated upon, and then jizzed on, and then maybe set on fire. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. That's what I'm not saying do it, but if it happens, it makes my heart, you know, my heart masturbates inside low-key, because if it was with another heart, I tell you, it would have sex with the other heart. It's just so it's just touching itself, and it's very happy, extremely happy, joyful indeed. Yes, that's the condition of my heart. But I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying that's honest feelings. 68,000 from one camera. God. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, that in China, I believe there is a forum that's been making news, and it's kind of low-key interesting. Headlines, interesting stories happening in and around the world. 100,000 men were a part of this forum called Mask Park Forum. Specifically, there was a longer name, Mask Park Tree Hole Forum, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. That was a long one. I thought I'm not going to remember that one, to be honest with you. But Mask Park Peephole? Tree Hole. What did I say? Mask Park Peep Tree Hole Forum. Mask Park Tree Hole Forum. That's right. 100,000 men. Let's just call it Mask Park Forum for the time being. It's a group or a forum that was on Telegram, the communication platform, Telegram. There's 100,000 men exchanging, sending, receiving explicit images of women without their consent, not knowing. So apparently this is a trend that's happening in China. 100,000 men have been part of at least one forum that are, you know, taking photos of women's doing, you know, sexual activities without their knowledge and sending it around. And that's, you know, so that's a lot of people. Not as much as it could be. It's only 100,000. Given their population, it's 1 billion and change Chinese. 100,000, those are still, you know, it's the takeaway. The moral of this story is 100,000 men are taking photos or are involved in receiving and sharing explicit photos of women, maybe, you know, masturbating, having sex. I'm talking vaginal stimulation, anal, you get it, rubbing titties, maybe by themselves, maybe with other people. I just want to paint a picture. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Sexual explicit activities, in case there's any confusion going on. We're talking about, not talking about people dressed. We're not talking about people wearing outfits. We're not talking about people doing mundane, everyday tasks. We're talking about right there, right? Just want to clarify in case I'd hate to walk away with anybody being confused, all right? Last thing I want to be causing is confusion. The point is that 100,000 men have taken these photos and have shared them. I'm just wondering to myself, what do we got to do to get this is important, man. What do we got to get, what does it take to get the women to partake in such activities and take pictures of men whilst doing sexual activities, either by themselves or with other people, and then, sharing it online? Because they're using these extremely tiny cameras, pinhole cameras. Apparently they're using them. You could apparently place them anywhere. They're tiny, hence the name pinhole cameras. You can place them anywhere. You could imagine it's tiny, extremely tiny cameras, and they're catching women's doing all sorts of activities. So the moral of the story is that what do we have to do as a society, not just China, because if this is happening in China, we are in a global state where everybody's interacting with one another, stories get carried out, things happen, bing, bang, boom. How do we get the females to engage in this activity? The resources are out there. I'm shocked and surprised as to why women are not, why have they fallen behind in terms of performance and not producing as much explicit images of males. I think it goes back to education. I think it goes back to we gotta make opportunities happen. Like men are out there. You gotta somehow make it so that women feel good and safe about doing this, so that they could take these photos and share them. It's not hard. This isn't a game where I would say, males have like a physical advantage to the females or vice versa. This isn't just like, this is, or vice versa in a different scenario. Like, I can't give birth as a male, but a woman could. She could totally kick my ass in giving. It's not one of those situations where like the sex or gender, makes a difference. You could, so I don't know what the reason is, but we've got to encourage more women to get out there. And really, it's 100,000 right now, which seems like a lot, but you can catch up. I just want my beautiful Chinese women out there to know that it's not too late for you to also engage in taking photos or videos and sharing them with your friends, family members, and out there, if you're female and you're like, oh, somebody took a explicit image of me, what do I do? Is that you take pictures and you share with people. Because there's an imbalance. That's the problem, right? There's some sort of the guys are doing it, there's not enough female. We got to get, I don't know what to do. I personally don't know what to do. I don't know if there's online courses you could take. It doesn't seem complicated, but there's definitely a gap between the males and the females in this specific realm. It's not the biggest gap. 100,000 it could still be. I say if we start getting the females to take explicit pictures of males today, I mean, it's not going to happen you're not going to have maybe 100,000 women doing it by tomorrow, but it's, give it a year or two, and maybe by then, with enough resources, with enough focus and energy, with enough uplifting one another, we could get the women to partake and catch up to men, so that we could say, hey, we did it together, didn't we? Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Get out of here.